Okay, we're here at the Fantasy Flight booth, and Megan Dean is going to show us a little bit about the new Witcher adventure game. Megan?
So the object of the Witcher adventure game is to collect the most victory points, and you do that by completing quests and defeating monsters. So ultimately, you want to get 80 victory points, and there are a variety of quests and side quests that you can do to get victory points. So how you move around the board, or how you go about moving around the board, is once it's your turn, you get to have 2 actions. There are a total of 5 that you can choose from. There is the option to travel, investigate, develop, and rest, and then there's one that's very unique to each of the characters. So Yarpen gets to activate one of his 2 of his 4 companions. And then Dandelion can sing, which means he gets 2 additional coins. Geralt gets to put a common marker token on a potion, so essentially he's like superpowering his potion. And then Triss gets to put the common markers on her spells as well, to essentially charge those as well. So you get to take 2 of those actions. To develop means there is a deck of cards that will help your character become stronger. So they can range from essentially making it so you have additional spells or magical objects, and that's what you do when you develop. So, and travel is self-explanatory. There are obviously good and bad things that happen in our world, so that obviously The Witcher works the same way. As you travel around into different areas, you'll encounter monsters and have to deal with foul fates. Foul fates are just kind of negative things that can happen, and there's also good things, being in good fortune cards. So when you're traveling around, if you ultimately get a reward of having a good fortune card, it'll help a little later on.
Okay.
Investigation, there are 3 different investigation decks. There are combat, magic, and diplomacy. When you are going through the world, you're trying to collect leads, which then will lead you to proof. So you're trying to solve mysteries, and once you solve those mysteries, that's the end of your quest. So depending on what your character's transfer rate is, it depends on how you want to kind of go about going through the world. So Yarpen has 5s across the board, while Dandelion can turn in 3 leads for 1 diplomacy proof. So it varies, like, characters are very specialized for each of their individual
and so you collect the leads here, which are the magnifying glasses, which you convert into the proof, and then you use the proof here for the main quest.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And the value on the side of the cards here is the amount of victory points you get once you complete the quest.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
And then there are additional side quests that you can do for every quest. So,
okay.
Some of them are just potentially moving to a location, and then you get an additional 3 victory points, or if you complete that other objective, you get 2 points. So
okay. Okay. Can you show us a little bit how you might resolve one of these investigations?
Sure. So for Yarpen, he's typically he's looking for a combat proof and a diplomacy proof. So you would ultimately kind of want to go for the red or the purple decks, not the blue one. Okay. So you then flip over your investigation card. You may spend 1 purple investigation to keep this card for its trade. If you do not receive a purple investigation, and discard this card. So you could have had Yarpen had a purple investigation, he would have been able, or a purple lead, he would have been able to keep this valuable information. But since he doesn't, he has to discard this card and take a purple lead. Okay. Cool. And that's how some of the investigation cards work. There are other ones that are setbacks, so you can you have the chance of getting things that help you complete your quest, but you also have the possibility of getting things that take your leads away. Okay. So.
And then can you show us one or two of the monsters? Sure. and the sort of the dice combat?
Sure.
For that.
For the monsters, we've got a phantom and a ghoul. So the symbol here means that it's a magic base. You have to roll a magic symbol to be able to defeat it. And then there is a sword, so physical. There are several different dice, so if I were to be rolling as Triss, I would roll these 4.
Okay.
But Geralt gets to roll all of these.
Okay.
So clearly he's better at fighting than Triss is.
Right.
So you would essentially roll, and if you pass, so I didn't end up, I didn't pass the magic test, so I would. I wouldn't receive anything for failing, but before rolling, I already have to suffer a foul fate, which means I have to draw from the foul fate deck.
Okay. All right.
And then the ghoul, I will roll as if I'm Geralt. And so this symbol is a double sword, and these are 2 Witcher signs. This is a single sword, so I defeated it, and I didn't have to have any defense. So if I succeed, I receive 1 red lead.
Okay.
And then if I were to have failed, I would have had to make 1 wound a severe wound.
And so when you take wounds, what happens?
When you take wounds, you are going to put them on your character sheet in one of these locations until you heal that wound. You can't do that action.
Okay.
And so severe wounds just require, like, they're a little heavier, so you only can so when you rest, you can only remove 1 severe wound.
Gotcha.
Or 2 light wounds.
Okay. And so each of the characters kind of has a different development deck, like totally unique?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
And so you have different combos and things?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to zoom in on the miniatures here.
Sure, no problem. And I can actually pull out, there's monsters that actually have penalties for not being able to defend.
Okay.
So if you don't roll any shields, then you have to even though if you were to successfully defeat the monster, you'd still have to take that hit.
Gotcha.
So
okay.
There are other ones. I realized those 2 didn't have one.
Okay.
So,
gotcha.
Yeah.
And then the fate deck, they're similar, right, to the monsters?
Yes. They'll either ask you to put out more monsters. They'll either say that you had to give away some of your information, so you have to give up leads, which puts you back a little bit. And that is.
Okay, so it's basically a race to 80 points, and then
it's a race to 80 points. There are other dynamics of that, of being doing support quests, which are you still get victory points for helping someone else.
Oh, interesting.
So even though you're trying to race to get to 80 points, there's still some odd collaborativeness that if you're like 2 players are kind of behind, they can kind of try and help each other by trading investigation.
Okay. So. Interesting. Cool. Well, thank you, Megan. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.